Welcome to part 2 of our orientation on theories of personality, Psych6. And in this video, I'll be talking a bit about the course outcomes, so the things we want all of us to learn at the end of the term. And we are going to talk a bit about how we'll be graded in the new normal curriculum. So first things first, the course is an introduction to the major theories of personalities and practical issues involved in the scientific understanding of, take note, personality formation, meaning how you became who you are today, and personality dynamics, how the interactions of the people in your home, in your environment, contribute to your development as a person, and how your behaviors and responses toward them also impact that relationship and your personality in turn. So it covers psychoanalytic, neo-psychoanalytic, the behavioral, cognitive, humanistic, existential, trait, and dispositional perspectives and theories. And we will also talk a bit about the Filipino concept of personality, although we have an entirely separate subject for Psikolohiyang Filipino. So from time to time, we'll insert bits and pieces of Psychopil here. Okay? So let's proceed. What do we want to accomplish? So as a class, at the end of the course, students should be able to, number one, discuss various concepts and theories of personalities. That means you should develop a mastery for the concepts in the course. So for example, if someone asks you, what's the difference between, let's say, the id, ego, and the superego? So those are familiar terms, right? Because you've discussed them already in Gen Psych. But that's going to be like that here too. So at the end of the term, you should be able to answer questions like that. Next, we should all be able to explain behavior on the basis of various theoretical frameworks of personality. So when you see somebody behaving a particular way or exhibiting a certain characteristic or set of personality traits, we should be able to explain why the person might be behaving that way from the perspective of Freud versus other theorists. Okay, so on and so forth. Next, at the end of the term, we should be able to use concepts and theories of personality to analyze and evaluate existing practices, relationship models, and social interactions in different social settings, especially within the family. So when we study theories of personality, ideally we should also be able to look at the way our society interacts, the policies, the communication styles, the roles that we all have, and how it contributes to people's development of personality. So for instance, maybe we can look at something like corporal punishment. Is it okay to spank your child to discipline him or her? What is the impact of that treatment on the child? Okay, what about, let's say, parents who act more like the kids in the family, or parents who treat their kids like their best friend? Okay, so we should be able to discuss, analyze, and evaluate situations like that. And lastly, we should be able to reflect on our own personality development using the framework of various theorists. And that's why one of the requirements for each of the topics is for you to create a journal reflection on your development as a human being from the framework of a particular theorist. So later on, we are going to go and look at your worksheet and see how we're going to answer that, so you can maximize what you learn from the text and from the handouts you are given, as well as the Facebook group discussions that we'll have. So as for your grading system, your grades will come from worksheets and assessments. So for your worksheets, that's 40%. Your requirements for that would be your journal reflection. So that is per topic. You should be able to submit that per week. So the weekly deadline is a soft deadline. Ideally, we submit our journal reflections. We should submit our journal reflections every Monday, because our classes are MWF. So every Monday morning, you should have submitted your journal entries to me, and I'll be checking them and I'll be giving you feedback when necessary. And then for each topic, we also have short quizzes in the group as well. So you should be able to accomplish those. However, those are more like practice quizzes for you to know whether some concepts are still unclear, and that will point you on the concepts and topics that you need to review. Okay, they will not be graded as is. No? So they're formative assessments, so to speak. Another one is that we will have discussion threads. So via our Facebook group, we will talk about certain issues, and I'll ask you certain questions, and you have to participate on those and respond to your classmates' comments as well. So hopefully that will be our replacement for our face-to-face classes and face-to-face engagements. But the bulk of your grade will come from your assessments. So depending on the status of our community, so right now we don't have face-to-face interactions because we want to keep everyone safe in their own homes. So right now, as it stands, your major exams will all be online. But if, for example, the situation improves later in the year, please Lord, then we will have face-to-face exams. However, again, right now, you are not required at all to go to school for this class. We will do everything online to make sure everyone is not at risk of COVID.